You're watching the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Coronavirus crisis is heard in the world. Now it is present in Gabon as the government announced one case on the 12th of March. But two other cases have been recorded, so the Gabonese are now panicking. In order to inform and sensitize the viewers as much as possible, we are hosting Dr. Djouba, head of laboratory services at the Mother and Child University Hospital, Jean Ebori Foundation. Today's topic is coronavirus in Gabon. Doctor, welcome to the interview on Gabon 24.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, thanks too for being here. Well, maybe you can introduce yourself deeply to the viewers.
Okay, I'm Professor Djouba, Siawaya. I'm head of the laboratory medicine services at the Mother and Child University Hospital in Libreville.
All right, very good.
And I'm an immunologist by training.
All right, so you are the right, the right person at the right place to help us better understand what coronavirus is.
One of the right specialists, yes.
That's pretty good. So now what's, thank you for being here one more time. So what is definitely COVID-19 and its origin as well?
COVID-19 is a respiratory disease caused by the new coronaviruses, for which the first outbreak was in China in the state of Wuhan.
Okay. All right. So now it has moved from Wuhan, from China, to Gabon at the moment, or throughout the world, is it? So how can we, how to stop it? How to reduce or to mitigate the effect of, the effect of that virus in Gabon particularly?
Yes, to mitigate the effect, we need to follow the IPC guidelines. IPC stands for Infection Prevention Control.
Okay.
So, and the government has done so by publishing the guideline and the measures to stop the spread of the disease.
So, well, maybe you can remind us the measures. Why not?
Yes, I mean you have to regularly wash your hands.
Okay.
If you need to cough and sneeze, you have to do it on your bent elbow. And also you have to avoid close contact. Okay. And now there's more measures, not essential personnel, for example, who are not needed in the workplaces should stay at home also. Yeah,
but when they stay at home, who's going to pay them? Maybe you can explain us. Because that's the question, you know? We can notice that definitely bars have been closed. I mean, there are a lot of measures which have been taken. So the question is to know at the end of the month, let's say the owner will come and, pass by, to the renter and ask for to pay the house. You see what I mean? So the question is how those bars, owners will manage at the end of the month too.
You see, that is a question for the government, because in other countries what they did is actually they put together a package, a budget, to compensate all those private companies and all those private business owners. Okay. But now in Gabon, I don't know what is done or what have been put in place.
I would like to seize this opportunity, allow me to cut it short, just to maybe, why not, invite one of government, let's say, specialists who can come and explain us how, they're going to compensate, those firms, those, small businesses which have closed, because we know that in other countries, there's a compensation. Yes. So what about Gabon? I wish we could have, why not, an expert or a specialist of government who can come on this and take part, to this TV program, and then why not communicate with the population? Well, yes, one more time, I apologize for cutting it short. All right? So, still talking about coronavirus, we can notice that children are less affected, and even, well, I don't know whether I'm making a mistake, but even black people are less affected. Is there a scientific explanation?
Yes, children are less affected. This fact is proven. There's a recent publication in the Journal of the American Medical Society showing and proving that children under 10 are less affected by the coronavirus. Yep. And in that particular study, there were no deaths among the population of children under 10. Okay. So, but why? What is the immunological mechanism that makes those children immunized? Definitely. The research is still going. Okay. To the second aspect of your question about black
people.
there is no scientific proof yet that prove that black people are immunized.
Okay. Anyway,
so we should be careful.
Yeah, sure. Though we're going to be waiting for, let's say, the progression of why not the disease, okay, or the virus here in Africa, as long as the majority of African countries, the case of Gabon, are composed of black people. So we're going to see how things will be, let's say, going on. So now, maybe, do you have an explanation of sub-Saharan Africa, having less people affected at the moment?
Yes, I mean, there is a simple explanation.
Okay.
If you look at the statistic from the World Tourism Organizations, you will see that only 70 million people traveled to Africa last year.
Okay.
And if you look at the flow to Europe, it's 10 times more. 700 people traveling to Europe. So the flow of people, the movement of people is one of the main explanations.
Okay.
You see, because as you know, coronavirus can be transmitted by close contact, from person to person by close contact. So if you have more people coming into your country or your continent, then you have more chance to be exposed.
So the tourism sector is the one which is much more affected, definitely.
Affected, yes, exactly.
And we wonder if tourism is going to still, let's say, improve, right? After,
recover.
Yeah, I mean, recover after this situation.
As I said, in other countries, they've actually put a budget to allow the tourism sector to recover after the coronavirus crisis.
Okay.
But in Gabon, I don't know.
We still wonder.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, I know that among the measures taken as when somebody is affected, I mean, unless I'm making a mistake, and then you there to why not correct me, is the isolation of the person who is sick. Except that, are there other curative measures?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the isolation is actually to avoid other people around the family to be infected.
Okay.
So there is medical measures that is taken after the isolation. So the medical doctor will treat the symptoms. They will draw blood, and they will also draw some nose samples from the nose and the throat, and then they will send it to the reference lab to be tested.
Yeah, sure.
First to confirm if it's the new coronavirus infection.
Yeah, sure.
And then continue the course of the treatment.
And when it's positive, what's happened to the person who is actually affected? I
mean, when it's positive, the medical team will continue the care of that person by treating principally the symptoms.
Okay. Do you agree that psychologically, I mean, the Gabonese, mindset will definitely change? I mean, even during and after that, let's say situation.
Yes, I mean.
What can be the role of psychologists, therefore?
Counseling, counseling, and counseling.
Yeah. Okay.
And my take is that in every team that we send out to those suspect cases, in hospital, we need to add a psychologist.
Okay.
Because I mean, those people will be in quarantine, and then they need to speak to a psychologist to help them go through that quarantine.
Okay. Do you have an idea of how government has organized things in the countryside? How in the countryside, suppose in the countryside there is somebody there, well, I'm going to say so, who is maybe affected, how do you have an idea of how the government can cope with such a situation?
I think that the Ministry of Health actually explained it in one of the last communications that they...
Maybe to remind it if possible.
That they made. I mean, all regional hospitals are actually prepared and trained to receive suspected cases, put them in quarantine, and do the sampling before sending the sample to the reference laboratory in Franceville.
All right. In the let's say in the family framework, I mean between family members, as long as as you can see, there is an idea of isolation which is required. How relationship will be now? Let's say managed throughout or within families?
Are you talking about
home husband,
quarantine?
Yeah, I mean home quarantine, for instance, between a husband and his wife, for instance. How do you have an idea of how things can definitely happen?
It's going to be difficult because I mean people have to be very, very responsible. I mean, if you are put under home quarantine, you have to think about protecting your family, your spouses, or your children, and then you will have to ask to be put on a separate room. And during the day, maybe you need to allow an air flow, so that if you are infected, so that the viruses don't stay in the air, and it's actually a matter of being responsible, not to infect other people.
All right.
It's going to be difficult on the man.
I'm telling you,
but
I'm pretty sure.
As I said, if we put people under quarantine, then we also need maybe to have some psychologists going there to visit them and talk to them to help them go through it.
So, because it's quite, I think it's quite difficult to imagine that. Suppose, I mean, a husband is definitely affected and is quarantined, and actually will be banned. I mean, the visit of his family members. It's quite difficult. I think it's going to be very, very difficult. To cope with such a situation.
Yes, but I mean, the quarantine is only 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's only 2 weeks. I think that it's just the set of mind.
All right. Okay.
We have to prepare the family.
Okay.
For
that
exactly.
situation.
It's only people have to be in the right set of mind.
Last question, if you allow me, because we've come to the end of this TV program. Do you think traditional medicine can be a solution as far as Gabon is concerned?
Traditional medicine, I have nothing against traditional medicine.
Okay.
A lot of our fathers and grandfathers was treated using traditional medicine. But you have to bear in mind that this is a new disease.
Okay.
And by definition, traditional medicine is empiric and based on old knowledge.
Yeah, sure.
So this is a new disease.
Okay.
So I will advise, if you have any suspicion of being infected, or if you had a close contact, to seek modern medicine care or attention.
Thank you very much one more time for coming. Consider it as your last word, or you maybe want to add anything?
Yes, my last word will be to get behind the government measures, and to try to follow, or not try to follow them.
Yeah, to follow them. Okay.
So that we can actually limit transmission in Gabon.
That's it. So please follow government measures in order to limit transmission in Gabon. That's how we end this TV program. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor, one more time, thanks for coming. All right.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's it. So I wish to see you one more time. I remind that you are Professor Djouba, Head of Laboratory Services at the Mother and Child University Hospital, which is Jean Eboury Foundation. Together we talk about, how coronavirus is, let's say, spreading here in Gabon. Thank you very much one more time. Keep watching us on social networks such as Facebook, Twitter, and we are also streaming on YouTube. Goodbye.